4. And when looking at the Jayhawks' height advantage, depth, and quickness, it's hard not to make this one a Final Four gone conclusion. Well, no such thing in this tournament. There's John Wallace, the Syracuse hero from that overtime thriller against Georgia. But Wallace held in check, so others had to step up their game, like Otis Hill. Basket in the foul. Hill scores 15. Syracuse up 9 at the break before Kansas comes out fired up. 9 straight points to open the second half to tie the game after the basket there by Paul Pierce. The freshman, Kansas is up by 4. Yet here's a play that typifies their day. Trailing 2, KU somehow gets it to Billy Thomas, fumbles it out of bounds, and there will be no tie at that point. John Wallace, just 15 points in the game, and his basket with just over 2:45 to play is the final Syracuse field goal of this game. Think that's bad? Kansas was worse. Not able to hit water from a boat the way they were shooting from behind the three-point arc. Jared Haas in particular, 0 for 8 from three-point range. The team just 4 of 25. Trailing by 3 with about 15 seconds to go, Jacques Vaughn dribbles out virtually the entire clock, throws up a desperation 3, hits back iron, and that is it. Kansas upset by Syracuse, which is on its way to the Meadowlands. And when thinking about the Big East teams in this tournament, how long would you have to think before coming up with Syracuse being the one going to the Final Four? The Orangemen shut down the big men of Kansas inside and force things outside where the Jayhawks fail miserably, hitting just 1 shot in the final 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Syracuse shoots less than 36%, but still does the defensive things that count and gets to the Final Four.
If somebody wants to think Kansas lost because they missed shots, then they know nothing about college basketball or basketball, period. Both teams did it. We just had a little bit more defensively, and gutted it out a little bit better. That's all.
This is the indescribable feeling, like I said earlier, and you know, now you guys can stop asking me why I came back. This is the reason why. Now we're in the perfect situation. You know, cap off senior season like no other person has done in Syracuse.
A guy asked me before the season started if there was going to be a void if I went down as the, quote, best coach to never win a national championship. I told my team in the locker room right there that if I never won a national championship, as long as I could have those kind of kids, that I was going to enjoy my life every single day.
Well, Syracuse gets to its first Final Four since 1987 when Indiana's Keith Smart hit a buzzer beater in the championship game, something Orangemen fans have been waiting 9 years to see avenged.
2 weeks ago, Mississippi State was just one of the 11 dwarfs in the SEC playing in Kentucky's shadow. But that perception changed when the Bulldogs hammered the Wildcats in the SEC title game. The 5th seed in the Southeast has come into their own. Fresh off their upset win over #1 seed UConn, the Bulldogs were frothing as they met the 2 seed from Cincinnati in their first ever game in the Elite 8. Bearcats coach Bob Huggins fuming. His team came out flat. The Mississippi State Bulldogs came out firing, namely Dante Jones. He hit his first 4 shots. Hoop and foul there. He had 17 and a half. Mississippi State up 37-29 at the break. Meanwhile, Damon Flint, ice cold for Cincinnati. 0 for 7 from three-point land, 1 for 12 from the field. He had 2 points. The team shot 36%. Meantime, watch the Bulldogs go to work again inside. It's the emotional Dante Jones. Richard Williams says he could be the most emotional and most offensively talented player he's ever coached. There, Jones with the block. And Richard Williams thinking about a Final Four bid. Watch Darrell Wilson. He called glass. Time to call for reservations in New Jersey. Mississippi State heading to the Final Four. Dante Jones, 23 points and 13 boards. The Bulldogs hit 56% from the field. In a 2-week span, Mississippi State has now beaten Kentucky, UConn, and Cincinnati. And the Bulldogs become the first #5 seed to make it to the Final Four since Iowa did it back in 1980.
We had a goal that we'd set out, that we wanted to come in and try to play Mississippi State basketball and not let those guys, bully us over. We knew that they were going to be a very strong team and a powerful team, and we just wanted to, fight back with them. And whenever things got tough, we were going to stick with it.
We panicked a little when they got the 14-point lead, and we were going to catch up all at once, and that's not a real good thing to do. And we took some threes that we shouldn't have taken.
Some of you get the opinion that we're irritable, whiny, some of the adjectives I've seen. Well, let me give you some reasons why. The Final Four caps says Mississippi on the back of it. Not Mississippi State, but Mississippi. So I think we have reason sometimes to be that way.
Richard Williams' team earning plenty of respect. And amazing to know, Mississippi State never trailed in both wins over UConn and Cincinnati. The Bulldogs start the Final Four fun Saturday against the 4 seed from the West, Syracuse. Then comes the game many are calling the true national title game. Top-ranked UMass taking on number 2 Kentucky. The Minutemen beat the Wildcats way back in November. Paul?
Lakers forward Cedric Ceballos has reappeared almost as unexpectedly as he disappeared. After missing the team's flight to Seattle last Wednesday, Ceballos spent 4 days in Arizona where he was seen water skiing, dealing with what he's calling family problems. No explanation of the problems and no blaming reduced playing time since the return of Magic Johnson.
Ceballos' family had some crises that had to be dealt with, and very emotional time for all of us, and we handled those things appropriately as we thought they could be. They could have been handled a different way within the organization.
He will learn that you simply don't do things like this. Again, it's not acceptable. It would be acceptable if we understood that there was some other problem here, but this was not acceptable, period.
Well, Ceballos still suspended through tonight's game of the Hornets. He'll rejoin the team for its road trip, which starts Tuesday in Orlando. Kenny Anderson leading this break for Charlotte. Anderson back in uniform after missing 3 games with a sprained ankle, dishes out 10 assists. That one there to Larry Johnson. Oh, here's Anderson at it again. He also scored 19. The Chief at the end of this drive. Robert Parrish for 2, and the Hornets are up 4 at intermission. Magic Johnson making his second start in place of Ceballos. Yeah, Johnson does all right. He scores 28 and starts cutting into that Hornet lead. But Larry Johnson, the Johnson with the biggest game of all, inside and out, perhaps not number-wise, but in damage. 24 points for LJ, 13 rebounds, and he delivers the knockout punch to the Lakers. Charlotte with a big road win, career win number 200 for Hornets coach Alan Bristow, whose 5 years in Charlotte give him the 3rd longest tenure of any current NBA coach. Utah's Jerry Sloan and Chicago's Phil Jackson are the 2 ahead of him. More basketball still ahead here, and those high-flying Bulls will be next as they try to avoid an accident on the road to 70 wins, which could be called a Torontosaurus wreck. Tom Watson puts himself in position to win for the first time in 9 years. We'll see how he did, and witness the most amazing hockey goal we've seen in some time. CNN Sports Late Night continues in a moment.
Sports Late Night, brought to you by Hampton Inn and Suites, where you'll be satisfied. We guarantee it. Call 1-800-HAMPTON for reservations.
Every day, families on vacation pack too much, and business travelers forget where they park their rental cars. But there's one given in life you'll always appreciate: Hampton Inn and Hampton Inn and Suites. At more than 550 locations, we guarantee the same friendly service, the same fresh, comfortable rooms, and a complimentary continental breakfast buffet. And if you're not happy, your night stay is free. It's one of those things you can always count on. Call 1-800-HAMPTON.
I can't believe this has happened to me. I mean, the car tires are gone and the battery's gone.
Everybody goes through bad times. And you can see them change as you calm them down, you explain something to them when maybe they were feeling in a position of powerlessness.
Robin, could you call a cab?
That's a great feeling. When something happens to somebody else, I want to give that back.
Thank you so much.
I think that's what this is all about, really.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
The customer's a big key in the repair. If you can't listen to customers, you've got no business being in a dealership. But sometimes it takes a little extra effort.
That's where I hear the noise.
You've got to listen to the customer, get in the vehicle with the customer, drive it, whatever the case might be. Quality care standards is what they're called. We have a lot of competition out there. It's our obligation to do a better job, and that's what we're going to do.
Quality care people, quality care standards at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer.
This isn't about why your business has to communicate better or when the time is ripe to put all the new technology to work. We're past that stage. This is about putting laptops on desks and pages in pockets. It's about email and the internet. It's about a person who puts it all together and a company that can give you the hardware and software you need. This isn't about blue sky or sci-fi or by the by. This is about now, about how. Network MCI, that's how.
Well, even the lowly teams in sports have that one game that can make their season. If you're Auburn, just beat Bama. Yale has to beat Harvard. And the Raptors can salvage things with a win over the Bulls. Yeah, the Bulls. Maybe not a rivalry, but something for the expansion team to brag about for quite a while. We picked this one up late. Over 36,000 on hand at Sky Dome, right to crunch time. Damon Stoudemire to Ollie. Oliver Miller, the big fella with the stuff. We're tied at 106. The Bulls answer, and it's guess who? Michael Jordan. Look at him. Looks like he's almost laying down when he makes this one. Jordan with 36. The Bulls up 2. But the Raptors come right back. Tracy Murray roast Scottie Pippen going to the hole. He had 23. We're tied at 108. It's Mike's time, Jordan in crunch time. But look at the double team. Ollie and Murray converge on Mike. He doesn't even get the ball to the iron. Miller makes a free throw. Bulls down 1. Pip to Kerr for the win, and the ball game, clang, the brick. The Raptors get a huge win, one of the biggest upsets of the year. The Bulls now 60-8 on the season. Chicago will have to go 10-4 the rest of the way. They're going to be the first NBA team to win 70 games. Toronto's Tracy Murray says it's unbelievable. He just wanted to lie on the floor when it was all over. Now for the Spurs and Pacers. David Robinson going at another top-notch center, Rick Smits. Face line on that one. 22 points, 13 boards for the Admiral. Reggie Miller harassed, shoving, pushing. Frustration setting in for Reggie. He gets the boot after his second tee. Larry Brown said he didn't mind the emotion, likes that fire from Reggie, but when he was gone, the Spurs catch fire, namely Sean Elliott. He had 14. And then watch the Rifleman, the former Pacer, now Spur. Chuck Person lighting it up, doing that a lot lately in late games, hitting those threes. Chuck helping the Spurs put it away with a 15-2 run. And the Spurs win their 13th straight, now 18-4 since the All-Star break, 2.5 games up on Utah in the Midwest, while the Pacers have dropped 7 of 10. They lead the Knicks by just a game for the 3rd playoff spot in the East. And those Knicks in Dallas taking on the Mavs. They could have used this guy, the Mash, Jamal Mashburn. Meantime, vintage Jason Kidd and typical Kidd numbers. 16 points, 10 boards, and 9 assists. That assist there to Lorenzo Williams. Mavs up 6, then here comes New York. Herb Williams out to Patrick Ewing. Patrick, the game goes through Ewing one more time, not through Anthony Mason. Ewing here getting the roll, hoop, and foul. 36 points and 15 boards for Ewing. The Mavs come back, but 2 more Ewing buckets, and this breakaway for John Starks. The Knicks need a spark from Starks. They're going to make a run. Starks with 19. New York wins by 6. And Patrick Ewing says the team is refocused under Jeff Van Gundy. The focus back on Patrick Ewing. He's been the leading scorer in all 7 games under their new coach. More importantly, the Knicks 5-2 during that stretch, while the Mavs have dropped 10 straight.
First place in hockey's Eastern Conference on the line at Madison Square Garden as the high-powered Penguins visit the Rangers. New York has watched a big lead dwindle with only 3 wins in the last 13 games. And Glenn Healy's mother told him there'd be days like this. Second period, Penguins on the power play. Never a good thing for a goalkeeper, and Sergei Zubov gets it past Healy. It's 2-0 Penguins. Next, Peter Nedved and Zubov once again teaming up, and it's the 2 ex-Rangers doing the damage. Healy gets a glove on it, but can't stop it completely. It's 3-0. Still second period, long pass to Ron Francis, who goes 2-on-1 with Nedved, and guess what? Another one that's stopped, but not completely. It scores. It's 4-0 Penguins. And a great steal here. Alex Stoyanov, he gets it while falling down. He beats Healy. 5-0 Penguins, and they are not done. Already up 7-1. How about Jaromir Jagr having his turn on Healy? Oh, help me. That's it, though. 8-2, the final. The Pens now own sole possession of the top spot in the Eastern Conference playoff race, 2 points ahead of the Rangers, and now, in case of any tie, 6 more wins than the Rangers. The red-hot Red Wings in St. Louis for the Gretzky 4-5 Blues. This is Brett Hull on the breakaway, and Chris Osgood has the door slammed shut. Still scoreless later in the first period. It'll be Sergei Fedorov. Last one to touch it until it dribbles through the net. 1-0 Red Wings, just like that. Later, still 1-0. When Wayne Gretzky dumps it into the zone, and Chris Osgood makes a big mistake. He gets it back out to Gretzky, and the Great One makes him pay for that mistake, tying the game 1-1. It's tied 2-2, closing moments of regulation. Oh, Grant Fuhr, he comes up huge. Nicholas Lindstrom, door shut tight there, and a scoreless overtime. Everyone goes home with a kiss for the sister. Tie snaps Detroit's 9-game winning streak, but 37 more saves for Grant Fuhr. The St. Louis goalie has now started 73 straight games, 2 games shy of tying his own record for most games in a season by a goaltender. Plenty still ahead here, including how Olympic hopeful Michael Johnson gets a big win by taking it slowly. CNN Sports Late Night continues after more hockey numbers.
We've painted the morning sun in Santa Barbara that burns away those blue-gray mists, that cool the coastal vines, and brighten all the colors in the grapes that go to make a brighter shade of Chardonnay. Meridian Chardonnay, raised in California's sunlight, aged in French oak. This is the art of Meridian. The bright, rich flavors in every glass of Meridian Chardonnay.
Nobody else has it. Only Headline News has the sports ticker. Continuously updated scores from the college hoops to the pros, even while the games are in progress. Headline News sports ticker. This basketball season, you'll always know the score.
Hook shot. 3 nights a week. In the lane. Over the top. Through the ring. It's Magic and Shaq as the Lakers meet the Orlando Magic. The NBA on TNT. Tuesday at 8.
Tom Watson trying to end a 9-year victory drought on the PGA Tour wasn't happening at the Freeport McDermott Classic. Despite this long birdie at 18, Watson shot a 74 and finished 8 under. 5 shots behind this man, Scott McCarron. McCarron saving par at 15, then it's McCarron at 16, taking command with this birdie. And for the 3rd week in a row, we have a first-time winner on the PGA Tour. McCarron talked about the thrill of walking up 18, said fans were yelling, "You're the man, and we love you." And of course, we love you, man. Exciting finish to the LPGA Standard Register ping. Crystal Parker Gregory 3-putted 18. That meant a 3-peat for Laura Davies. She wins her 3rd straight Standard Register ping title. Parker Gregory bogeyed 2 of the last 4 holes to open the door for Davies to win. And a legendary team charging at the Senior Legends of Golf. Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus making a run. This is Player for the bird. Pretty putt. And watch Jack at the 10th hole. It's Nicklaus from the sand.
Was beautifully struck.
Incredible shot. Nicklaus inches from the cup. That meant another birdie for Nicklaus and Player, but they could not catch the tandem of Lee Trevino and Mike Hill. This is Lee Trevino at 12. Trevino with the birdie, and Hill and Trevino go on to capture the 2-shot victory. It is the 3rd time Trevino and Hill have won the Legends title. They won the tourney in '91 and again in '92.
American Michael Johnson is used to speed, but after 18 months of asking track and field's governing body to separate the 200 and 400 meters at the Olympic Games so he could compete in both, his request finally crosses the finish line. The International Amateur Athletic Federation makes it happen. Michael Johnson is the reigning world champion in both the 200 and 400 meters and has won 52 consecutive 400s. But without the Olympic schedule change, Johnson would not have attempted the double in Atlanta.
I feel very good about that. This is even a better schedule than I had last year at the World Championships in Gothenburg. And my times were very good there as a result of a schedule that allowed me to compete in the 400 as well as the 200. This I see as a much better schedule with a day's rest between the 400 final and the 200-meter prelim. So I feel like I couldn't ask for a much better schedule than this.
The off day gives Johnson an opportunity to rest not only physically, but mentally as well.
The 200 and 400 are 2 completely different races. They're run completely different. The 200 is a pure sprint, so it's much more aggressive. Whereas in the 400, you want to be aggressive, but you have to try to overcome that and be a little more graceful. There's a lot more strategy involved in the 400, where the 200 is, much more technical.
A key factor in the IAAF's decision was that the schedule change not only benefits Johnson, but all of track and field, a sport in desperate need of a superstar.
Every Olympics, there's a special person that comes out of those Olympics. If you remember in Los Angeles, a little gymnast, she was the darling of the whole country for since those happened, and we are hoping that that is what Michael Johnson will be, that he will be that special person.
I think that is what the fans wanted, and I think that that comes first, satisfying them, and I feel like it's an advantage for everyone involved.
So the table is set for Michael Johnson to make Olympic history. It's now up to him to make the U.S. team in both events and then move on to Atlanta to try and accomplish something no man has ever done at the Olympic Games. Well, Valerie Briscoe Hooks did the Olympic double in 1984, the only person to ever do so. More schedule moves for Carl Lewis, who hopes to compete in the 100, 200, and long jump, but of course still has to make the team at each event. The play of the day is still ahead, and some spring base brawl. Wait till you see what touched off the bonds market as Sports Late Night continues.
Hey, Wilkins, the car rental place is this way. Why, Stevens, I'm shocked. Where's your sense of fiscal responsibility? Reservation for Wilkins.
At Dollar Rent-A-Car, our airport locations make it easy to come and go.
Look at revenues generated last quarter.
See you on the plane. Are you kidding? I got a whole round of meetings tomorrow.
And our low rates make it even easier to stay.
Oh, great meeting so far.
Dollar Rent-A-Car. Dollar makes sense.
Of all the things around you that can hurt your eyes, there's one you probably don't think too much about. But working at a computer every day can cause a number of vision problems. The solution may be as simple as changing the position or the color of your monitor. Your Pearl Eye Care professional can also help with glasses specially made to reduce eye strain. Seeing comfortably, that's the key.
Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
Tempers flaring between the Giants and Mariners. Former Giant Solomon Torres brushed back Barry Bonds, then he plunks him, and here comes the Bear. Loaded for Bear, pointing the bat. John Marsano with the Bear hug. They exchange a few words, and then Barry Bonds, he's going to flick the left out there. Yeah, that was about the only punch thrown. Bench is emptied. Giants win 13-3. Matt Williams 2 for 4, a home run, and 3 RBIs. Rematch of the World Series, Indians and Braves. It's Carlos Baerga slapping one down the lineup. John Smoltz, Kenny Lofton motoring home. A revenge for Cleveland. They win it 3-2. How about the White Sox and Phils? And this is the Big Hurt. Frank Thomas taking Mike Mims out of the yard. Big Frank's 3rd home run of the year. He has 16 RBIs this spring. Chicago wins it by a touchdown, 14-7.
Time for our play of the day, a tribute to quick thinking and centrifugal force. It comes from the NCAA hockey tournament. Michigan puts it into the net. That's legal and one of the best goals we'll ever see. Talk about a leg up on the competition. Michigan wins the game 4-3 and moves to hockey's Final Four. Mike Legg wins the play of the day.
Play of the day, brought to you by Network MCI. How to get modern communications technology working for your business.
This is about advanced communication technology, about what's happening today, how things like the virtual office and call centers can work for your business. But it's not about bits, bytes, bells, or whistles. This is about people who know how to listen and where to look, people who can help you put all the pieces together and even get you the hardware and software you need. This is about how simple things can be, about knowing who, about knowing how. Network MCI, that's how.
Mortgage payments, college tuition, career choices. People can get so lost in their day-to-day concerns that they simply avoid planning for their retirement. Unfortunately, that's life. New York Life has all kinds of life insurance policies to help make sure you enjoy your retirement. We can even help you catch up if you started planning late. That's New York Life, the company you keep.
Life is all about giving. Life College gives students educational choices. Our accomplished faculty gives students the opportunity to choose world-class mentors with know-how, confidence, and persistency. Our students give their best. Find out what Life College has to offer you. Give us a call today.
No one knows why they play Follow the Leader, but at least we know who they've been following. Sea-Doo, the best-selling boat in the world.
The second ever race for the fledgling Indy Racing League in Phoenix, and it's won by its most recognizable name, Arie Luyendyk. Only 10 cars finished this race. His first win in 5 years. The only remaining IRL race, the Indy 500 at the end of May.
NASCAR stop in Darlington for the Trans-South 400. That's Michael Waltrip saying hello to Ken Schrader. Rips half his car off. Now for the duel. Car number 24, Jeff Gordon, battling number 88, Dale Jarrett. Gordon with the lead. Jarrett slingshots past him again. Now, one problem for Dale Jarrett, didn't know how much gas he had left, so they thought they'd fight to the finish, see if they could pull off the win. Well, that strategy didn't work. Give him an A for effort, but Jeff Gordon takes the lead. Jarrett runs out of gas and finishes 15th. Gordon gets the win. He's finished first, third, and first in the last 3 races.
And the annual Naismith Awards announced today for college basketball's best players and coaches. Marcus Camby of UMass for the men, Sadia Roundtree of Georgia for the women, and John Calipari of UMass for the men's coach, Andy Landers of Georgia for the women's coach. So we have a theme working here.
That's right,
UMass,
sweep
Georgia.
all the way around. And you look at the Final Four, it is set. 2 surprising teams, as we said. Syracuse meeting Mississippi State, and of course, UMass and Kentucky in the nightcap come next Saturday. We're out of time. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Alanos.
I'm Paul Crane. Good night.